Hi, it's Danielle Smith, and today I'm at Rancho Capistrano Winery, one of my go-to places here in San Juan Capistrano. Fun fact, I'm pretty sure I'm member number 33, and we'll talk all about their membership and everything Rancho Capistrano Winery has to offer with one of the owners today. Let's go take a look. Hi, Sylvia.
Hi, Danielle. How are you?
How are you?
Good. Nice to see you. Welcome to Rancho Capistrano Winery.
Thank you. So I'm here with Sylvia Franson, one of the owners of Rancho Capistrano Winery. We are in the San Juan Capistrano location, my favorite, but there's others we'll talk about.
Yeah.
So I feel like we should just start off with a bang.
Well, let's start off with a drink.
Let's do it. Okay.
Nice glass of wine here.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
All right, what do we have?
Okay, so here we have the Coastal Ranch Sauvignon Blanc 2024. It is from Lodi.
Oh.
And a lot of people don't really know where Lodi is, but Lodi is the Central Coast where we get a lot of our wine, so we'll get into that in a little bit. And this one here is a little bit towards like Sacramento.
Okay.
So when you think of Lodi, you sort of think about the coast going up a little bit. Delicious, brand new, and we thought that the name was just perfect with being so close to the coast, and also with our ranch name.
Perfect. It is. It's actually a really good name.
Yeah.
And again, we'll get into that of the names. That's a wonderful thing. Brilliant. Thank you.
Sure.
And what is your choice?
Well, I love the new Windswept, also Pinot Noir, and this is from Santa Lucia Highlands.
Oh.
Santa Lucia Highlands is up by Monterey County, and it's a beautiful region for Pinots. Makes some of the best Pinots because of the earthiness and the terroir of the earthiness. Just makes it so delicious and perfect. This one is super light in color, and the reason is that it's where the vines are grown are so high, so the sun's not really hitting it in a way to make the color be just so light and beautiful. And so it's up very windy, hence the name Windswept.
See, again, I love your wines and you love your names. So perfect. So should we cheers to that? And you could tell us more about Rancho Capistrano Winery?
Sounds good to me.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Cheers. Tell us in general about Rancho Capistrano Winery if someone comes walking through these doors.
Yeah, so Rancho Capistrano Winery is definitely been a dream of Kyle and mine. It all started, we established in 2012 and we started making wine about 2013. But the way it came about is that Kyle was in the finance industry.
Yep.
He worked in mortgage and it just, it blew up at that time. He still was wondering, like, what am I going to do in my next chapter?
Oh, as we all are.
As we all are, yep. And we were having a really great conversation. I had my media job up in LA, and I was very deep into that. So that was, sort of what I was doing. But he, was thinking, like, what's my next thing? And we were having dinner up here at a restaurant, and we just started walking down here and just chatting about, like, what would you do? Like, if you could do anything, what would you do? Well, he just was like, had this whole plan in his head. And he said, I'd really like to do something that would be like what we do, at home. We entertain and we love to eat and we love to have people over and we love the wine experience. And he said, I'd love to turn that into a business. And I was like, whoa, when he just started telling me, because the way Kyle's mind worked, he just has these wonderful big ideas. And I was loving it. And he said, and I think the part that I really loved was after he had shared, the restaurant and we'll do this and we'll do the wine, is that it was something that we could do as a family. And that eventually, when I retired from my advertising career, that I would be able to join the company, which is what is happening today.
I love that story. It's always a very good entrepreneurial story. So cheers again to that.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. So we, as I said, we established in 2012, started making wine in 2013. We got really big really fast. I mean, that was the other thing. We had a lot of wine club members out of the gate. The wine club, and we'll get into that in a bit, but it is really, truly spectacular. And it created the community and the connection that San Juan was looking for.
Yes.
And so we just started building this. We had this area and it was some law offices.
Yeah.
But when we were having our conversation walking down, we looked over at this building and we knew it didn't look like the building we wanted, but the location was spectacular. And so we said, if we can get this spot right here, then, we're all in. So Kyle then reached out to the city. It turned out that this was the only spot that was available. And that it had been that the owners had been looking for somebody to lease it out to, but they didn't want it to just lease it out to just anybody. They wanted it to be something really special. And the community was asking for our help in the rebuild. The mission was already reconstructing, and they said, you know, there's a void and a need for something to help bring the community together. Somewhere where you could go in the daytime, hang out, be in the night, and it becomes like an 18-hour initiative. So when we came to the city with our business plan, they said, yeah, that's it.
I think that's great.
Incredible.
Yeah. And that was over 10 years.
And that was, yeah. So it's going to be 13 years this April. And what was really cool is that this was the inside part of all of this was what we had agreed to in our plan. But then we had the outside, which you probably may remember, being that you grew up here, was an underutilized space. And so the city came to us and said, you know, we love what you guys are planning to do. Let's, you know, talk about negotiating that part of the space as part of your business. And of course, that was game changing for us. And the city helped us build it. Kyle designed it, you know. And
he did?
He did. Kyle, yeah, his little dream. Yeah, his little dream was to be an architect.
Oh, okay.
You know, he's in the wine business today. And I think for me, the focal point was like, if we can have a really big fireplace and that you can see when you're walking outside and people are like, what is that? And draw people in would be like my one contribution to what the architect would look like. And so he worked around that concept, and that is the most photographed or Instagrammable place of our entire, you know, restaurant. Last year we won one of 10 most beautiful patios from Riviera Luxury Magazine.
Oh, that's nice. I have to concur. I absolutely love that patio. And you're right, that's a focal point. Everyone wants to typically sit by the fireplace.
And drink wine.
Drink wine,
listen to music.
That space, like how you guys envisioned it, I remember it was just this grassy area with some cover and everything. And as a child, I would go over there. I don't tell many people this, but I'm gonna tell you. I would stand in the middle and pretend I was a singer. And I had my audience.
That's
because
amazing.
In my head, there was this echoing, and I'd stand in the middle and it would echo and I could hear myself sing.
That's beautiful.
So when you have this space, and that's another thing, like that space, and we'll see it, is you've utilized that to bring in live music.
Exactly.
And entertain and have a place for local musicians and vocalists to present and keep the atmosphere going.
Yeah.
So I think that's a beautiful spark that you guys add in the back.
Well, thank you. And I have to tell you that at our mission is ultimately about experience. And so we don't look at Rancho Capistrano as a restaurant. We look at it as an experience. For the moment you walk in to the moment you walk out, that it's all about the experience, our wine, our people, our bartenders, that this becomes your cheers. And I know for you,
Definitely a cheers.
It definitely is a cheers. And for our members, they feel very comfortable. Everyone knows their name. The servers know their orders. I mean, it's truly the community. Going into a little bit of the wine club and why it's so special. So the wine club, Kyle and I have traveled all over the world, and I am telling you, Danielle, that this is the best deal in the business.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah, thank you very much.
And I'll tell you what, because it is, you know, you get your 2 bottles of wine each month that are hand selected by our local winemaker. On Tuesdays and Thursdays, you get 40% off the entire menu for you and a guest. On Wednesdays, you get half 50% bottles for Wine Wednesday. But the really special thing is that you get a complimentary glass of wine every single day. And that's the part where people are like, every day, every single day.
Cherry on top.
Cherry on top.
Yeah.
So it's truly, truly special. And so through the wines, I mean, our wine club is really about the experience of the wine, right? It's not like a lot of the other wineries. We're an urban winery, which means we don't own our own vineyard.
Okay.
But we source our grapes from up and down the coast. And we have award-winning winemakers that we contract who make wine specifically for Rancho Capistrano Winery.
Oh, that's nice.
Yes,
That's
and
very
so
nice.
some of the regions are like, our big ones is Paso Robles, and of course Lodi, and Santa Lucia Highlands, which is one of my favorite. Napa, we get some fabulous little gems from Napa and also from Washington. And the great thing that brings it all together is that we also have a local winemaker, Kylie, who works with Kyle to ensure, so it's a process to ensure that the wines that are being made for us are up to the Rancho Capistrano Winery standards. So not a single wine comes in or out of here that hasn't been stamped approved by Kyle and Kylie.
I love that.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk more about those wines.
So some of those wines are, like I said, we have some really terrific wines from Paso, and the beauty of the Paso is that we have quite the story there. But we had actually been looking for a vineyard right before COVID, and we had San Juan was thriving and fabulous thanks to our fabulous community. And we decided to open up San Clemente, which is a little gem on Del Mar. And that opened in 2019, October in 2019. Well, then what happened in early 2020? COVID hit. So that at first had us a little bit jarred. We were also looking around that time for a vineyard up in Paso. So that happened. The vineyard in Paso didn't happen, but the person who bought it from the people who initially we had contracted the wine came in and said, we still want to be partners with you. And so we had access to some incredible wine during COVID that a lot of other people or other wineries didn't have access to. So we really thrived during COVID, and we felt like we were the place to come because we had that 3,000 square foot open patio that we can bring our community together, that we could still serve our wine club members. We were able to serve dinner and full menu and so on, and we felt like really truly blessed that we had that space that we weren't supposed to have, but that was game-changing for us. And so COVID, while we know that it was devastating for many, we were able to grow our business and hence open up Ladera Ranch. That's how that happened.
Wow, you've got all those other locations those locations that we can chat about. Perfect. Tell us about the menu, inspiration, your go-to, and I'll let you know my go-to.
We're known for our food. We had a chef for many years prior to this that was incredible, and he's then gone on to do something else, but we've hired a new chef that has brought in his own style, and we're really, really enjoying it. And what it is, it's the inspiration is wine country. That's really what it is. It's inspired by wine country, and cuisine is what it is. And we tie it in and pair it with our fabulous wines. So a lot of the inspiration, Kyle's a big foodie. I'm a foodie, but he really, I think there's a part of him that also is there's a chef part, and that's what when we used to entertain, I was the hostess and he was always cooking. He just loved cooking. So we get our inspiration from our travels. We travel all over the world, and if we find something we love, we bring it back and we make it our own.
Perfect.
Isn't that amazing? And some of those have been everything from the salads to the cowboy steak to the award-winning filet mignon, which is a grass-fed, to some of the gems that are just that we come up with. And a lot of them are the appetizers, like there was the melon and burrata appetizer. That was something we had in Italy, and we're just like, we're gonna bring it back to Rancho. And then Kyle's like, and I'm gonna make it my own.
Perfect.
Yes, and then he works closely, of course, with the chef, and the chef puts in his talents. And so we come up with a lot of dishes. As you know, we are seasonal, and a lot of the time they're really inspired by our travels, by our experiences, by our own cooking at home. We've been loving working with Chef Reagan, who's brought a whole different style to Rancho Capistrano Winery.
Yes, I tend to go, I think your signature, well, I don't know if it's your signature item, but one of your appetizers is the fig bruschetta. Yep. Okay, that one is a go-to for many.
Yes.
When we're talking about that, so some of your soups, when it's a soup day, I'm on those ones. I like the
cream of jalapeno.
Yes.
And you like it with the sweet potato fries.
Yes.
The fig bruschetta was inspiration as well from one of our travels. And we saw it was a version of that. And, you know, Kyle's like, I'm going to bring a version of that and make it my own, make it better. And so worked with the chef to create that. It's got a little bit of that sweet and salty on it with the crunch. It's so delicious. One of the other ones, jalapeno soup, which you had mentioned, super, super popular. And we would just have it as specials, but it was so popular at all 3 locations that we decided to make it our signature soup.
And now
it's on the menu at all 3 locations.
Yeah.
My favorite is the avocado crunch salad. Oh, with a protein. And I swap out my proteins, everything from the grilled chicken to the blackened salmon. That's a good salmon. One. I love my salmon. Yes. And shrimp, depending on the mood that I'm in. But that is one of our best sellers, for sure.
Oh, good.
We offer it at all 3 locations. And then what makes it really special is the little like crunchy pepitas. And then the little crunchies that they put on top. And of course, my favorite is the avocado. And the dressing is house-made. All of our dressings are house-made.
Well, that's nice to know.
Yeah, and so very, very popular. So that's one that is my go-to. Salmon is also my go-to. Everybody knows that I love the salmon. I walk in and they usually say, salmon for you today. And I usually say yes, or I'll switch it to the salad and do the salmon on the salad.
We have the same palate.
I think we do.
It was just, those were my 2 like more entree ones that I tend to go to.
Yeah.
Now all 3 locations have very, very, very similar menus. However, one of the locations have something slightly different, right?
That is correct. So one of the popular dishes in general is the cowboy steak. The cowboy steak is hearty and big, has our own house-made cowboy butter, just super delicious, and that's a go-to for what I thought was a lot of men, but actually women like it too. But what we decided to do is that we noticed that in San Clemente, being that it's close to the ocean, there weren't a lot of seafood restaurant options. So we decided that we would pivot on our menu and offer some seafood focused items on there. And so we redid our menu there.
Oh.
And we have everything from cioppino, ahi, we also have the salmon there, of course, and we do some lobster dishes there and so on, but we did turn it into a seafood inspired.
I did notice that, yes.
And it's really worked well for us.
Okay.
Yeah, and how we know it's through the guest experience and the guest feedback. Now let's talk about Ladera.
Yes.
We were open since April of 2022. It has a huge kitchen. So it's bigger than this location and our San Clemente location combined. So we have this huge dining area, we have this huge gorgeous kitchen, and of course the L-shaped patio that's very different than the one we have here, but it faces this beautiful park, and so it just makes for a lovely dining experience. And because we have such a big kitchen there, we're able to experiment a little bit more. And so it tends to be a little bit more of a steakhouse. It has more steak. It has just some chicken dishes. It has some, we can bring a lot of specials and what we call features and do those on a monthly basis. Last summer, so fun, we did a staycation menu. Were you part of that?
I don't think so, but tell me a little bit about that.
Well, based on our travels, because that's where we get our inspiration, we said, well, for those people who can't travel this year, because in 2025 was a little tough, we decided to come up with a staycation menu. And of course, that was another one of, Kyle's mind that never stops. And we offered an Italian menu. We offered up one from France, where we had some escargot. We offered one from Spain, which had some really yummy, meaty, tasty meats. And then we wrapped it up with a Mediterranean from the Greece. Just had this nice branzino, which of course I love seafood, and it was just, vegetables and just really, really fun. So it was really fun to have something different for our guests to experience only at the Ladera location. Again, staycation menus. So you got to constantly just be creative and find ways to appeal to our guests.
Yeah. Like in location.
Yeah.
You got your 3 locations and a beautiful spot here. I love it all.
Yeah.
Tell us about items that people can actually take with them besides the food and that's available here, maybe at this location.
Let's take a look at our merch wall.
Oh, perfect.
So this has really been a lot of fun. These sweatshirts we see inspiration, and this one you can probably tell is a little bit maybe Ralph Lauren-ish.
I like this.
Yeah. And so we thought, well, let's get something where, it could be where males can can also, enjoy our merch because a lot of it is so female centric. This one here is the RCWs, a lot of fun. This one here, Kyle got, specifically for me, he's like this one, he's also back to his creativity, really is involved in the merch. And having really fun things. This has been a big seller for us here. The wine weather, we started selling it before the holidays. And then what we found is that people really love just something that's simple, just says, wine on it. And with our, logo, of course, always. The hats fly off the shelf. I mean, they always have. And the most recent is the new Rancho scripted hat, also inspired by one of Kyle's favorite designers, and mine as well. So, so a lot of fun, a lot of t-shirts here. Came up with our little own Rancho Capistrano Winery wine key.
Brilliant.
A lot of our merch right now, we're in the process of transitioning.
Okay.
And so we'll be getting a lot of new fun stuff soon.
Well, I have a couple sweatshirts, so I might have to transition out of my sweatshirt attire into some t-shirt attire.
Yeah, that's right, coming soon. I know, and the weather here in California, we have a very short window.
I know, exactly.
Cold.
Exactly. And then behind us is your infamous wine wall here.
Yes.
So the wine wall.
Yes.
I think it's beautiful. The aesthetics are amazing. Here's a fun question.
Yeah.
How many wines do you have?
Oh, we have about over 40 different varietals.
Okay.
And we have it not at one given time, but we do have about 40 throughout the year. And some are really fun. So our basic is that we have our signature logo, right? We have our Grape Horns logo, and that sort of has now become what people know us for and recognize us for. So sometimes we might have a hat that just has the grape horns and people know who we are. And I think that's really where we wanted to get to, and hopefully after 10 years, that's where we are.
So how did this amazing logo come about? Because it stands out.
That's a really great question. As Kyle and I were coming up with our plans for the business and dreaming up all of these fabulous things, we thought, what would we want our logo to look like? We knew our logo would be super important because it was going to be on everything. And we thought, what would be appropriate? And so Kyle found a company like on internet, was international, and we had a contest. And he put it out there and said, help us design our logo. And we said we want it to be, we wanted to have grapes, we wanted it to be horns, we wanted it to be ranchy. We gave all these descriptors of what we wanted it to be. And we got hundreds of submissions for it. And the one that just came directly to us was literally grape horns. And we were like, that's it. I mean, at the same time, we're like, that's our logo.
Yeah.
That's our brand. And we're going to work everything around that particular logo. So a guy from France is how we got our logo.
Well, again, cheers to this growth that you guys have created from a couple bottles or so to over 40. Amazing.
Yeah. Thank you. Cheers.
Cheers. Monique Ray created this.
I cannot believe that.
Yeah, I love it.
Well, this was only supposed to be temporary, you know that, right? Yeah, temporary. Oh, yeah, if you can hold it. And we thought it was plain, and then we thought, oh, we're going to create our own. We're going to design it ourselves. And then little Humphrey came as is, and we're like, oh, Humphrey can't stay. Yeah, Humphrey can't stay. And you know what? Humphrey is staying. Because he's such a signature piece. Well, every time we're like, oh yeah, we think we're gonna, it's time to move him out. Everyone's like, no, you can't do that. He's just, and it's on every photo too. That's what's so incredible.
Yeah, and do you recall, was it that we had a bunch of these, a handful of these in town that people decorated?
Yes, exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so this was actually my family friend, Monique Ray, and she was known in town as the hummingbird lady, hence the hummingbird.
Yes.
Anyone that had a hummingbird that was injured or found, whatever, they would call her, and she would actually nurse them back to health as much as she could.
That's beautiful.
And so, yeah, so she was also an artist, and I think that was I love the fact, again, that it's here.
Yeah.
So good job.
Thank you. And horses are big for us, ranch. Every time that we see something like this, we think, wow, this truly is like this piece here. It really is perfect for Rancho Capistrano Winery.
It is. So now we're out in this beautiful patio, in this beautiful space. Tell us about this space, and then tell us about what your role is at Rancho Capistrano Winery.
Yeah. Well, I love this patio.
Yeah.
It is very truly special, starting with the fireplace. That's such a focal point of this space here. And it was inspired by one of our travels, like I said, to Italy and a few other places, but we wanted it to be rustic, and we wanted to have that real cozy, intimate feel that even if this space is so large, that you still feel like you're in, can have a conversation. that you feel that it's nice and intimate and beautiful, that it's surrounded with greenery, and that you feel like you kind of lose yourself in this patio.
Space.
Yeah,
it's very comforting.
very comforting.
So with this patio space, let's talk about this entertainment that you have, that you bring in for the customer experience.
So we offer live music on several key dates, and one of them is Member Tuesday.
Yes.
And we have Grace Walker, who performs for us on Tuesdays, but the reason it's so special is because she also works for us.
Perfect.
And she started with us when she was very young, and now she's in her 20s, and now she performs for us. She was an American Idol contestant.
Yes.
Which was really fun, and we highlight that as well. And then we offer live music on Friday and Saturday nights to just kick off that weekend. And Sunday brunch, it just is perfect for a nice afternoon brunch with friends and family. And so yeah, we love the entertainment. We have some excellent artists and a lot of repeats that come back because if the guests ask for it, we bring them back.
I know, and I think that's fantastic. And besides your live entertainment, your playlist is very good. So I appreciate your playlist. I appreciate your setting out here in San Juan Capistrano.
Yeah.
You have your outdoor patio, you have your tasting room, and you have your bar area.
Yeah.
And it's a classy, nice bar where everyone comes in, that's where they're first greeted with your greeters, and then the continuing of the customer experience continues all the way back to the fireplace. So good job.
Thank you. Everything we do it with love and intent, and for our guests' experience.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Oh, like when I tell people about the story how I met Mike, they're like, oh, how'd you meet? And I said, I was going line dancing at Hennessy's. My girlfriend was late. She's usually early. I was gonna go to Hennessy's, but then I was like, no, I'm gonna go to Rancho because I felt comfortable.
Exactly.
Comfortable. And literally the whole bar was taken except for the spot next to him, and then the rest was history. But I was like, I went there because, if I just say, oh, I went and sat at the bar. No, I went there, it's a classy, nice, inviting bar, and that is the start of the customer experience.
And I don't know if you know this, Danielle, but first California grape was grown here in San Juan Capistrano.
Another reason why we're on the map.
Exactly.
I love that.
So we do a lot of play on that. And so then my role is the marketing role. And so I retired from my career in advertising up in LA, and I joined Kyle and team full-time a couple of years ago. And my job is to take on marketing. I do a few other things, but it's all about tying it in all together.
Yeah.
As I mentioned to you, it's about the experience. And so marketing is a way of getting us out there and bringing people together, bringing us together, creating a great experience. An example of that is not just the wine club that we talked about, but also the wine tasting experience. And we have a wine tasting chocolate and cheese experience.
Oh, yummy.
That we do on weekends. It's so good.
Yes.
As we move into February,
Oh gosh, already.
we're gonna kick it off with Galentine's.
Perfect.
Which is so fun, and we're going to offer the wine tasting chocolate and cheese experience at all locations, so not just San Juan. We've been doing San Juan for the last couple of years. After Galentine's, we will go into Valentine's, which I know is very special for you, and particularly here. And that's what it's all about, is is creating memories, unforgettable memories, and that's what we really want to hone in on, and we do that through marketing and of course the community, because it's really all about the community. We wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the support that we get from the San Juan community, the San Clemente and the Ladera Ranch communities. It's truly incredible.
Yeah.
We kicked off the year with a New Year's Eve dinner at Ladera. Specifically, we offered some features, and we felt like that's a great time to just keep the momentum going as we were going into the new year.
Perfect.
So we did that, and then we went into, Galentine's, and then we go into Valentine's. And of course, we're going to be part of Swallows.
Of course, Swallows Day Parade. It's an iconic time.
Exactly. And we'll be part of the big holidays like Easter and Mother's Day being our biggest holiday of the year. It's
Really?
Yes, it's huge at all locations. It's truly special. Families, it's all about the families come out here, and we offer some great offerings for the moms and for the families as well. So make it very, very special. And then of course we support all of the concert series that happen, not just here in San Juan. We're part of the Mission, but we're also part of the ones that the city puts on
Yep, you are.
at the park. And we are part of all of the tastes of, like the Taste of San Juan and the Taste of San Clemente and the taste of, well, even just the food and wine festivals. All that happen within that time span. And of course, we're going to be celebrating our 13th anniversary in April. So we'll do something.
Cheers to you.
Thank you. Do a little something special there. We will be then going into doing a wine blending party. So we did our first annual wine blending party, which you were a judge for.
Thank you very much. That was so much fun. Wine blending. Who ever thought?
I know.
You could be so creative. People are.
People are. And we've been wanting to do that for quite some time. We just never really got around to doing it in the way that we wanted to do it. And last year just felt right. And so it was a lot of fun. We had a great turnout. We think this year is going to be even bigger and stronger. And of course, we go into the Romance of the Mission. We have an excellent partnership with the Mission. They're so supportive of our business and of the community. And we just love everything that they do. And so we're part of the concerts there, the Romance of the Mission, and we're just wine supporters throughout the year. So that's lovely. And then it'll take us into the holidays with Thanksgiving and the Christmas, the elf crawl, and just all back around. So yeah, and we have a few exciting things in the pipeline that's coming up. So stay tuned for some real exciting things.
On your website or your Instagram, right?
All that stuff. All our stuff. Yeah, our website is ranchocapwinery.com, and our Instagram is at Rancho Capistrano Winery. And for all the details, plus the newsletters, that's also falls within my wheelhouse. So I'll be sending out newsletters and highlights and so on as we start to roll out some of these great projects and partnerships.
Yeah, I think as an entrepreneur, you're like a jack of all trades, as you've discussed in our conversation today. Yeah. And I love that. And I like to say, and I know a lot of people say that locally, like you're locally grown but globally inspired. And I think I heard that throughout our conversation, that you've been able to bring what you've found outside of our local areas and brought it to the restaurants that you have. And with that, it's like amazing to see the growth that's become from when you started over 10 years ago to where it is now, and you continuously grow. So I just want to give another cheers to you and the team and all that you have. Thank you again for joining me today. Thank you again for all that you've done. I wish you all the best in the past, present, and the future.
Oh, thank you, Danielle. We so appreciate you and this amazing community and all of the communities, friends, family, and just our supporters. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Cheers. Cheers.